Hello everyone, today we are going to tackle all about the issues embedded in the approval of Rizal Law, and we are the Group 1. These are the members of the Group 1. Jacqueline Abadilla, Eva Marie Abilia, Evelyn Abil, Clifford Adrias, Rina Jane Ahito, Mary Ann Alferez, Mary Jane Alferez, Apple May Angkap, Rilin Angkap, Liza Faith Ansing, Emeline Balambao, Babes Balatayo, and yours truly, Fritzi Ann Aranas.
And now, let's talk about the Rizal Law, Republic Act number 1425. The objectives of this topic is to study and spread the ideals, teaching, and exemplary life of Rizal, especially to the youth, to develop and enlighten the Filipino youth, and to discuss and discover the issues embedded about the approval of the Rizal Law.
So, RA Republic Act 1425 or Rizal Law is an act to include in a curricula of all public and private schools, colleges, and universities courses on the life, works, and writings of Dr. Jose Rizal, particularly his novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, authorizing the printing and distribution thereof and for other source purposes. Senate Bill 448 hopes to give people knowledge about the oppression suffered by the Filipinos during the Spanish era. For Filipinos to understand themselves and their country better and realize the greatness of Rizal.
Whereas today, more than any other period of our history, there is a need for a rededication to the ideals of freedom and nationalism for which our heroes lived and died. Whereas it is meet that in honoring them, particularly the national hero and patriot Jose Rizal, we remember with special fondness and devotion their lives and works that have shaped the national character. Whereas the life, works, and writing of Jose Rizal
Whereas the life, works, and writings of Jose Rizal, particularly his novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, are constant and inspiring source of patriotism with which the minds of the youth, especially during their formative and decisive years in school, should be suffused. Whereas all educational institutions are under the supervision of and subject of regulation by the state, and all schools are enjoined to develop moral character, personal discipline, civic conscience, and to teach the duties of citizenship. Next is objectives of Republic Act 1425. First is to study the teachings of Dr. Jose Rizal. Second, to inculcate and propagate them along all classes of Filipino and foreign nationals. Third, to exhort the citizenry by words and deed to emulate and practice the examples and teachings of our national hero. Fourth, to promote the associated knights the spirit of patriotism and resilient chivalry. Fifth, to develop a perfect union among the Filipinos in revering the memory of Dr. Jose Rizal. And last but not the least is to organize the whole programs commemorative of Rizal's nativity and martyrdom. Slide 4, please.
Um, the reason for the filing of Rizal bill, it became controversial bill because of those who oppose the bill. It is natural for the bill
be controversial, but with Rizal Bell, it goes with its beyond. One of those who oppose in Catholic Church, be interviewed with the approval and signing of this bill into a law. He argued that the bill would violate freedom of conscience and religion, especially Nolimitang Hiri, which only has 25 pages, are patriotic, while 120 pages are anti-Catholic. The novel is, of course, written during the Spanish regime, but the goal of the bill is to rededicate the lives of the youth to the ideals of freedom and nationalism rather than brainwashing the mind of the youth.
Hello again. I'm the editor, Clifford Cedrias. Because of the technical difficulties, my audio on this meeting was not recorded. So here I am informing you about the information that I have gathered. The teaching of Jose Rizal's life, works, and writings is mandated by the Republic Act of 1425, otherwise known as Rizal Law. Senator Jose P. Laurel, the person who sponsored the said law, said that since Rizal was the founder of the Philippines nationalism and they contributed much to the current standing of this nation, it is only right that the youth as well as all people in the country know about and learn to imbibe the great ideals of which he died.
The Rizal Law, enacted in 1956, seeks to accomplish the following goals. Number one, to dedicate the lives of youth to the ideas of freedom and nationalism for which our heroes live and dead. To pay tribute to our national hero for devoting his life and work in shaping the Filipino character. And the last, to gain an inspiring source of patriotism through the study of Rizal's life, works, and writing. So, approval of the law. Jose Rizal's vast role in the attainment of nation's freedom led to the issuance of Republic Act 1425 on June 12, 1956, commonly known as Rizal Act. It was sponsored by Senator Claro M. Recto. Again, this Republic Act number 1425 calls for an increased sense of Filipino nationalism. It is an act to include in the curricula of all public and private schools, colleges, and universities courses on the life, works, and writing of Jose Rizal.
And according to judicial that's a reason 23/1956. The House Committee on Education approved the bill without amendments and the Senator Claro embraced the Rizal bill, while Senator Jose P. Laurel Sr. was the chairman of the Committee of the Education. This pressed the Rizal bill and was into Rizal Law slash the Republic Act 1425 by President Ramon Magsaysay on June 12, 1956.
Arguments of the opposition of the Rizal Bill.
The Rizal Law is a Philippine law that mandates all educational institutions in the Philippines to offer courses about Jose Rizal. When the Catholic Church in the Philippines found out about Rictus Bill, it mobilized its forces to prevent the bill from becoming law. During the 1955 Senate election, the church charged Rictus with being a communist and an anti-Catholic. Apple may please read the second to the last statement.
The church continued to oppose the bill mandating the reading of Rizal works No Limitang Here and El Filibusterismo after Recto's election, stating it would violate people's freedom of conscience and religion.
But they are still connected about the thoughts of the bill, stating all about religion or morality that should be preserved and spread by Filipino. Next slide, please.
So now let's um, talk about the one of the issues and of the approval of the Rizal Law. One of that is the Catholic Church staunchly opposed the Rizal Law. The Rizal Bill only became the Rizal Law after a compromise between the Catholic Church and the legislators was reached. The legislators, especially Ricto, agreed to the condition of watering down the morally offensive parts of Rizal's novels before they were taught to schools. We called it expurgated versions. Further, it was agreed that only colleges and universities would teach these materials to their students. The Rizal Law was enacted on June 12, 1956, coinciding with the Philippines Independence Day. It was not only church groups and clergy who vehemently opposed the Rizal Bill. Catholic schools around the country banded together in opposition to the Rizal Bill. It came to a point when a number of Catholic schools threatened to close down if Rizal Bill will become law. So Senator Risto responded by saying the government would simply take over the administration of the schools if they close and nationalize them. So one of the who fought for the Rizal law is Senator Claro M. Ricto. So um, why the Catholic Church staunchly opposes the Rizal law? It's because their main reason is about the Rizal bill is it's because they do not want to affect students, especially in Catholic schools. One of the main reason is that because one of the novels of Rizal, just like No Limit Tangere and El File, contains elements that is discredit the religion, that talks about against the religion. So before, the most famous religion before implemented is that a Catholic. So most who oppose is the Catholic groups, especially the Catholic schools. So because of the contents of the book, No Limit Tangere and El File, is that it because they do not want to have students, especially in Catholic school, because they against the possibility of miracles, against the sacrament of baptism. One of that is the against of the confession, communion, holy mass, other things pertaining to Catholicism or Catholic religion. These are the reasons why they went to oppose the Rizal Bill. So that's the main reasons about the Catholic Church opposed the Rizal Bill. Next slide.
Okay, once again, good afternoon. And for at this moment, let's talk about the significance of Rizal in today's generation. It is very recognizable now for us as a student. The two famous books of Rizal, the No Limitang Here and El Filibusterismo, which were being injected to our Filipino subject during secondary education. In tertiary education, however, Rizal is a subject, so students are required to take this as it is a required course in any college or university in the Philippines, mandated by the Act 1425, otherwise known as Rizal Law. So what are the significance of Rizal Law in today's generation? First on the list, it incites the life of youth in dealing freedom and nationalism for which our heroes lived and died. It doesn't mean you have to fight like Rizal or KKKs, but it could get you interested in the current national issues since you'll know how our heroes fought for our freedom. Just like Rizal, you could do it in your own way. So exploring the life and works of Rizal would give you a better vision of what it's like during the Spanish era and how Filipinos deal with it. Second, it helps the youth to understand better to themselves as a Filipino. This could give students and the future generations a strong background about what happened many years ago and how Rizal, what do we call this one, yield controls in life. Ika nga, knowing the life of our Filipino, knowing the life of our hero is knowing on how to be a Filipino. You might do reflections on yourself contrasting the past and the present. But if you learn lots of things, especially lessons in life, imagining you are in a classical time, di ba? Third, we gain an inspiring source of patriotism through the study of Rizal's life, works, and writings. The idea of patriotism was already dominant in the Rizal early works. You won't know him if you won't study this course. Through your supports and cooperation, you already showed the act of patriotism. Because of Jose Rizal and other heroes, we attained freedom. Overall, those things happened in the past. We should stand proud of every Filipino's achievement. So fourth, teaching in relation to present conditions and situations in the society. This course will drag you to situations where you can think lots of possible scenarios in the past. Just like when someone is courting you or when you are courting someone. Former learners about Rizal was all rainbows and butterflies. But when you take in this subject, you'll discover key concepts on how to control future situations. Fifth, you'll be encouraged to apply such ideas in current social problems. His teaching will inspire you to think differently. It will train you easily to think situations in certain social problems. How are you going to act on it and how are you going to place yourself in an action? For example, when Rizal managed to continue writing revealing how the Filipino people lives during Spanish colonial period of and the cries of the host of his countrymen against abusive officials. Imagine even he's inside the cell because so napriso man to siya to, he still managed to write because the only way he could help because he think that time the only way he could help us Filipino is to write. Lastly, it gives rich source of entertaining narratives to students and develop appreciation and deeper understanding of all the Rizal fought, all that Rizal fought and died for. You can't escape this course when you're studying. Here in the Philippines, as mentioned earlier, RA 1425 requires us to do so. His writings contain incredible chapters, especially dates, characters, places, and events. When you are trying to think about it, it seems like sitting in a roller coaster. I mean, really fun and exciting experience. Just give it a try and a chance. Okay, I guess that will be all. Thank you.
So now, thank you guys for sharing your thoughts about the Rizal Law, Republic Act 1425. So I want to gather you some answers, and this are the questions. So one is explain the significance of the Rizal Law to the life of Filipinos today. So for you as a student, and for you, what are the significance of the Rizal Law to the life of Filipinos today as a Filipino citizen? Anyone?
Can I? The significance of Rizal law of the Filipino today was quite weakened. Ah, I don't know. The Rizal law is about implementing rules to educate people about the life, works, and writing of our national heroes, Dr. Jose Rizal, especially his novels No Limitang Hiri and El Filibusterismo. This is to give the student and the future generation an ample background and for them to understand about how Jose Rizal hands over his life for our country. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Any some more? Some more ideas to explain the significance of the Rizal law at this era and at this point. So I guess there's none. Okay, let's move on to second question. What is your reaction to the implementation of the Rizal law at today's generation? So as today's generation, what is your reaction? Is it affecting you? Is it helping you out for you as a student? The Rizal law give us a big impact, especially
Okay, can I
now.
answer?
Okay, go ahead.
Um, sorry kayo, magwala-wala ko internet.
It's okay, go ahead. Okay, so anyone? We all know that the Rizal law at this point is very important to everyone, especially to the students who taking courses. We cannot really uh, understand because of there are some key points and concepts of the Rizal law that we cannot handle it, learn it as easy as we can. So I guess there is Fritzy, you can add.
Okay, what is your reaction to the implementation of the Rizal Law as today's generation? I can say that Rizal Law has contributed lo- uh, a long journey to us, especially students and millennials, teenagers, that many of us are not in a good hand, like they are going to ruining their life, but without knowing that result is really
So even if the implementation is not easy to them before because of the opposition and the against of the Catholic Church, Catholic groups. So it was implemented that so that it was approved because of their how there are strong and valid evidences about the bill that every universities and colleges will take this Rizal Law course. Anyone can add more?
Which number are we again?
reaction to the implementation of the law.
Okay. For me, it's a great help. It's a great help to the Filipino people, especially to the youth, because in the first place, we are being influenced by the past. So some traditions are being dissolved in our society today, but all the ideas we're living for today is based on the past. So we should be more knowledgeable enough on results literally pieces.
Okay, thank you. Good. So next, is there any advantages and disadvantages about taking the Rizal Law course? Is there any
Can
advantages
I?
or disadvantage? Okay, Iba?
For me, I think it's only advantages, and advantage of this is it provides us to recognize the importance of results, ideals, and teaching in the relation to present condition and situation in the society. And also, the teaching of the result course in the classroom is intended to awaken the sense of patriotism and nationalism in every Filipino youth and push them to apply the principles by Rizal as solution to present today's problem. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Other?
Can I answer?
Okay. Go ahead.
So for me, there are many advantages in taking this course, and I can only say one disadvantage. I think, and the advantage is it can provide us an insight of freedom through reforms and not by arms confrontation, and you will become aware of the ethics that the country created upon. And if there is an advantage, syempre, nagid po siya disadvantage. So there's really something off about memorizing events, facts, and other similar matter when it comes to subject like Rizal. And that's what makes it such a waste of time for other students. So makaingon sila nga kalas rang og oras kay ato naman gid na siyang na-discuss at ng elementary pa na to or high school. But
Mm.
at least reading the book, students learn something to say for other people like foreigners and even your grandchildren when you get old. And that would be all.
Okay, that's right. Because it could be have the advantages and there are also disadvantage. Because the Rizal course is not very easy, right? Do you agree with me? It's
Yeah.
not very easy. So we need the hard work. We need to learn more. We need to study it more and apply it. Because according to Rizal, na kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan, right? So do you believe in that saying? Kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. So let's move on to the other questions we have. For you, as a student, is it really important to take this Rizal Law course? Why? For
Yes.
you as a student. Okay,
Can I
Arena.
answer?
Okay,
Yes,
Arena
for me.
first and
Because
Aneto next.
a really big yes for me, because as a student it is really important to take this Rizal Law course because it contains the lessons to acquire the meaning why our present looks like this and why things happen for that way, because it reflects of what the history tells us, and also for us to continue serve and give honor of what Rizal sacrificed for us as he saved our country. Well, as Rizal said, education is the foundation of our society. Then, of course, as we living in our own life, let us much responsible and act according to our age as a student, because we are the future leaders for the coming days to preserve of what Rizal contributed to our country. And that's all. Thank you.
Okay, good idea. Other.
Can I have a try?
Okay, Aheto first.
Um, for me as a student, it is really important to take this Rizal course because as a student, it is important to study Rizal life and his writing including other heroes, because the contribution and they give to the country is priceless. And that's all. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, next, Ansing.
Okay, for me as a student, it is really important to take the because um, it we can gain an inspiring sources of patriotism through the study of Rizal lives, works, and writings. That would be all.
Okay, some some more.
Can I add?
Okay, Mary Jane.
Can I add also?
Yes, after Mary Jane.
For me, yes, it is important to study the life and works of Rizal because he is our national hero, and I agree that Rizal's life to be taken up as a subject in college is very influential to all of us, because especially to us youth or students, because we can get or learn many good traits and values like being to good student and
Mm-hmm.
citizen of the country, being obedient, loving, and strong-willed students that some youth nowadays don't possess it. We should practice it for it is our own good. Thank you.
Okay, good idea. Last, we have Balatayo.
Okay, for me, it is very important, no, because it is a required course, so you cannot graduate if you're not taking this course in college. So it is very important, of course.
Okay, sure, it is very important. Even if you're not willing to learn it, if you're not fully to learn it, but it is a law you should follow. So next, what is your understanding about this bill? Do you have any idea? What is your understanding? It should be burden, or it should be Clifford. Do you have any idea what is your understanding about this bill?
My understanding of this bill is that it should be implemented and it should be learned by students because it has a great impact on our society and our mental behavior because of what Jose Rizal did for us back then.
Okay, thank you. Apple, do you have any idea?
Yes. My understanding about the Rizal Bill is that the Rizal Law is a avenue of our youth to understand Rizal vision. The law aims to put Rizal closer to our hearts, strengthening not only the Rizal course, but the subject of Philippine history is important. Filipinos are capable of achieving great things in life, and like our heroes, we can excel in our ways. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Some more? Do you have any
Can I add?
understanding? Okay, okay. Go ahead.
Ala. My understanding about this bill is it teaches us uh, this is our way of giving tribute and respect to our national hero for his heroic act and the sacrifices in our country. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mary Ann. The writings and life, the works of Rizal, the histories of Rizal really amaze us, really help us to grow and to become a good leader someday. So it's not really masasabi nating communist, but because according to the Catholic groups that Recto and Rizal are communists. So for this generation, I really think there is no opposites naman kasi lahat naman ng mga paaralan is uh, kan sumubaybay at saka nag-learn ng ganitong bill course. So I think this bill really help us to have a good moralization, to have a good maipakita natin sa community, hindi lang sa community kundi sa ating bansa. So a good leadership, a good implementation of having the social interactions of every one of us. So I think this topic, Rizal Law, Republic Act 1425, the approval, even if there are mga issues na nagaganap noon. So, but now it is approved and implemented to be studied to the students now, even all of the students. So, I think this very explanatory naman ang mga sinasabi nyo. So, good idea. Thank you for your opinions. Thank you for the understanding that you have given. So, I think this this topic now is help you, and we shall end this meeting. I think you understand it well. So, thank you for your cooperation. Thank you for all the ideas and the opinions, the understandings you have given and you have shared. So we shall call this meeting end. Thank you, guys. Show me your faces.
Bye.
Show me your faces first. So thank you for sharing and having this brainstorming for our activity. So good job, guys. Worth it.